FM, Fargo-Moorhead.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. 103 right now, 20 degrees outside, visibility down to 2.5 miles in Fargo, and a general 1 to 4 miles around the FM metro due to a strong northwest wind gusting over 30 miles an hour, producing some patchy blowing snow mixing in with a few light snow showers around the area. As always, we'll touch on the forecast and when this, blustery, kind of crummy weather is going to go away, and we'd love for you to join our conversation throughout our show as well by giving us a phone call, 701-293-9000, with any weather or ag related questions or topics, or you can always reach us via email during or after our show at weather@flagfamily.com or ag@flagfamily.com. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, as well as Ag Director Bridgette Readel. And how is your day going, Bridgette and Dean? Bridgette, I see you're out and about. How are the roads doing, the visibility?
Visibility is not bad, but I will say this, as the wind is supposed to continue to increase, that's going to change. There are open country areas where there's no doubt there's a lot of snow moving across the ground, so I think it's important for everybody to understand, if you decide that you're going to travel somewhere, because we do not have a weather advisory or any restrictions on that, if you decide you're going to travel somewhere, you cannot overdrive the conditions. Today is a day you got to pay attention. This is a full coverage day out there. If you're only a liability insurance person, you might not want to be on the roads.
That is perfect. And earlier we had 5 jackknife semis on 94 outside of Barnesville this morning. And so that just goes to show you, even though we're not in an advisory here in the FM area and points eastward, there's still some very slippery travel, especially the side streets, open country where we've got a lot more wind and more availability of that snow to blow around. At least we're not in Buffalo, where they are expecting 3 to 4 feet of lake effect snow. Wow.
That is a lot of snow, but yes, just because there's no advisory issued here within the Red River Valley, plenty of them issued west of the valley. And the road conditions are just kind of deteriorating across the area. A lot of scattered ice and partially or completely snow-covered roads. I-94 basically all scattered ice. I-29 ice and snow-covered. A lot of drifting and blowing snow around there. Visibility, again, just in places getting knocked down under a mile, and that's generally where the snow fell heaviest out west or the central portion of our state. And we'll touch on that here when we come back. We're going to head over to ABC News, but lots of fun things coming up here on the show today. Our guest today will be Kenzy, the national president of the RCAF USA. We're going to talk to him and see what it is that he does and what's going on. And as well as we have our ag topics we're going to try to get to today, and including chute safety when working with livestock, swath grazing to reduce fuel cost, and prepping for calving season, which will be coming up this spring. And again, we'd love for you to join in on our conversation, ask any questions. If you have any road reports or weather reports you want to give us a phone call. We'd love to hear from you, 701-293-9000. We'll send you over to ABC News here quick, get a little bit of news and headlines, and then we'll return with the forecast and a few ag topics.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The next congressional term in Washington is taking shape. Republicans will be in the majority in the House of Representatives. President Biden calling incoming Speaker Kevin McCarthy overnight to congratulate him. ABC News political director Rick Klein in Washington with more on what the election outcome means for the party now in the minority.
I don't think it's going to mean much for Democrats to say we didn't do as badly as we thought we would. The math is going to be stubborn, and the fact that Speaker McCarthy will be an almost certain reality in the next Congress means that Democrats are going to have to calibrate their expectations.
Outgoing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still has not said what her future plans are. Democrats maintain control in the Senate. Investigators in Moscow, Idaho are now saying there may in fact be a threat to the community following the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. There's no suspect in custody. Former FBI agent and ABC News consultant Brad Garrett with more on what's ahead for investigators.
You really are going to have to do a complete detail of the party that was prior to whatever was going on between 3 and 4 o'clock at the victim house. They were at another party. Who followed them home? Who's been dating whom? Who have had issues with people? You know, this killer didn't all of a sudden show up at this house. He knew this house, and he was able to get in, it sounds like, with little trouble.
Big snowstorm coming to the Northeast, including Buffalo, where ABC's Matt Rivers is getting ready.
There's a saying here in Buffalo, talking about the intensity of the storms. You know, they talk about how many beers you might need in your house. And so they say grab a 6-pack and hunker down. Well, the officials we were talking to yesterday say, yeah, you might need a 24-pack for this one.
They could get 4 feet of snow in Buffalo before it's over. The new CEO who will be overseeing the bankruptcy of the cryptocurrency firm FTX tells a Delaware court of a new filing that he has never seen such a complete failure of corporate control at a company. You're listening to ABC News.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk.
A sun-controlled solar film installation on the windows of your home or business and lake place adds privacy, increases energy efficiency, blocks ultraviolet rays, and reduces harsh glare while keeping your rooms bright with safe sunlight. Your windows will look great inside and out. We stand behind our 100% customer satisfaction guarantee and will help you choose the perfect look and protection for your property. Sun Control, the area's premier window film installers. Call 701-298-9658 or visit us at scfargo.com.
Looking to dress up your garage or patio? The concrete experts at Prairie Supply can help with any size concrete project. From design to delivery, we have built a great reputation renting equipment for your project needs. They have a large inventory of rental tools and equipment for decorative concrete, including stamps, polishing equipment, and a variety of tools designed to make your dream a reality. Prairie Supply, the contractor's headquarters. For more info, go to prairiesupply.com.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus 111. Right now in the afternoon, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and our one and only amazing, very talented Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. And thanks for listening to us on WDAY Radio. Also, remember, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Weather and Ag in Focus to find our pages, or you can find all of our past shows and interviews with the fantastic guests we've had on in the past, and as well some of our favorites. Bridgette, let's do another ag topic here before we take a look at that forecast. I know a lot of people want to know what's going on out there, but I want to know what's going on about these about chute safety when working with livestock.
Okay, so we're going to start this from a slightly different direction, Justin, and that's the fact that shout out to all the first responders over in Colgate, North Dakota. That's in Steele County. Yesterday, they were the epitome of safety because they had a grain bin entrapment. because of all of their quick response, as well as the fact that everyone knew their role and also had been trained on how to use the panels to take the pressure off of the guy who was in the bin. He is okay. He is recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. So that leads to the fact that when you're working around cattle as well, whether you're in grain bins, but around cows and around chutes, especially if you have somebody new working the chute that you're not familiar with, we need to be careful. There's a story out of South Dakota about a veterinarian who got smashed in a hydraulic chute and actually has multiple skull fractures. So it's that time of year, we're weaning cows, we're moving livestock around. Everyone needs to take safety just a little bit more closely. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, I wanted to ask you, because my wife had mentioned this, what was going on the other day. I can't remember if she said it was ag related or not, but there was some really big oversized semi-load going through North Dakota or something, where it was just some excessive amount of weight that they were hauling. Do you know anything about that?
Isn't that going on in western North Dakota? It's in the oil field country. I thought it was a crane. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million pounds. I was willing to offer myself up to ride along in the truck if they needed somebody just to hang around and have fun. But I don't know where they were headed. I do know that there's a massive oversized load. I thought it was a crane. Again, it's like 1 million pounds, and it's going to take several days for it to move through western North Dakota on probably not Highway 83, but even further west, like over towards the Watford City area.
It's got to be massive. That's almost like equivalent of hauling a rocket. Is that thing what move like 5 miles an hour?
Did you see the pictures of it at all, Justin, or no?
No, I haven't.
It's
Maybe
huge.
we can maybe Michael can see if he can find a picture and throw it up here before we
I think it was
head
like
up to our upcoming break.
Was it 1 million pounds, I believe? Bridgette?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it was pretty massive. And is it a crane, Dean? Because I don't remember what it was. I just remember seeing the
It was
story.
a big engine. I don't know they didn't say what the engine was for. That's the thing. But yeah, that'll block some traffic for a while. Don't say an alien.
Maybe it's Roswell all over again, but it's Williston.
No, you don't get to do that today. No. Let's go back to farm safety.
The windmills are spinning really fast today.
No.
Blowing all the snow around.
We're going back to farm safety, and to remember that if you are moving grain this time of year, do not be getting in your bins, even when it hangs up and bridges in there. You have got to find other ways to move that around, because we had an example of it yesterday. Bin entrapments still happen on a much too regular basis.
Yeah, I heard there was a bin fire not too long ago also that caught, I think it was the Southern Valley, one of the bins caught on fire.
Actually, if you're thinking it was an elevator fire at Edgeley, North Dakota, that's south of Jamestown on Highway 281, I think that was Monday or Tuesday night this week. I don't think the cause has been determined yet, but they did in fact lose part of an elevator, and that's at Edgeley, North Dakota.
How much grain was in there? Do you know, Bridgette?
I can find the story for you and tell you, but it's harvest, so they would have had quite a lot. And one thing, when grain gets hot and catches fire like that, it smolders for a long time.
Now
so it'll take a while for cleanup.
That's some money loss, and I'm guessing insurance would cover that.
It would, if you're the grain elevator, you'd be carrying some coverage for that. Mm-hmm. Hopefully at today's current price, because current prices are pretty good.
That's
They are.
That's a good point.
Well, why don't we take a look at what's going on across the region, Dean? Because I know that the weather isn't the greatest for some, a little better for others, especially the further east you go. But even there, still a little bit of travel impacts going on.
Yeah, we've been kind of stuck in this colder than normal pattern here for the last 5-6 days. Maybe it's going to stretch 7+ days. Haven't had a lot of snow with it, but we have had these periods of light snow, and now we're getting the wind with it today as well. So most of North Dakota travel is going to be a little slippery today, and heading into the lakes country, much of the same thing. And we're going to continue with the on and off light snow showers for the rest of the afternoon. They're starting to diminish on radar, so as we get towards evening, those will start to wind down. And should be a quiet night tonight, maybe a few flurries down to about 5 above, and then tomorrow we're looking at temperatures stuck in the teens. Might see a few breaks in the clouds early, but then another upper-level wave will bring a few scattered light snow showers to the area Friday afternoon and evening. And then with temperatures in the teens tomorrow, we're stuck in the teens on Saturday. And then Sunday we warm up into the upper 20s, mid to upper 20s it looks like, but breezy conditions out of the west-southwest. If you have any travel plans for next week, the first part of the week looks okay. Possible clipper system coming our way as we head towards Thanksgiving, but at least temperatures are going to be on the warmer side with temperatures in the 30s. So this pattern that we've been stuck in for the last 5, 6, 7 days, again, once the LRC cycle gets set, this pattern will return throughout the winter, a couple of times throughout the winter. And again, once the LRC pattern gets set, we'll be able to fine-tune exactly when this same pattern will return. But the one thing I do see is much warmer weather settling in after Thanksgiving. We're getting some pretty good signs of that occurring. It might not last long, but we'll take what we can get at this point. But for right now, we've got to pay some bills, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have our guest, Brett Kenzy, National President of RCAF, and he will be talking a lot of great topics. If you have any questions you want to throw our way, shoot us a call, 701-293-9000, 701-293-9000, or you can email us, weather@flagfamily.com, or email us at ag@flagfamily.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable, or you simply just don't like how it works, well, right now, during open enrollment is a perfect time to switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month when they join Medi-Share, and what's more, they like it. Medi-Share has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to the industry. That's double. And Medi-Share is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for 30 years. It's shared more than $4 billion in healthcare bills. And here's why now is the perfect time to make the switch. If you join Medi-Share Complete by January 1st, they will waive your new member fees and you'll save an additional 10% off your first year. That's right. No fee to join, 10% off every month for all of next year. But again, it's a limited time offer. So yeah, you're not stuck. You've got a great option. Call now, 877-64-BIBLE. That's 877-64-BIBLE, 877-64-BIBLE.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our ultimate Sleep Number event. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus special financing, only for limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
When love is shared, great things happen. After 15 years of the Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and the retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. Get a new Subaru now through January 3rd, and $250 will be donated to charity. You get a new all-wheel drive Subaru while helping your fellow man. Stop in today. Muscatel Subaru, just off exit 1 in Moorhead. See Subaru.com for details.
The holidays are quickly approaching, and so is opening day at the Lights Ice Rink at Essentia Health Plaza. Give the gift of the Lights Ice Rink punch card. For a limited time, you can get 8 skate rentals for the price of 5, just $25 per punch card. Great for kids, families, or a gift to yourself. Look for the Ice Rink opening day announcement on the West Fargo Events Facebook page or at westfargoevents.com. This great deal is good only in November at the Lights Community Room or online at westfargoevents.com.
Shields is grateful for our customers, communities, and fellow associates. We give thanks for all the little things in our lives, the things we can often overlook. Thanksgiving reminds us to take the time to open our hearts, to pause, to reflect, and to pray. With grateful hearts, we praise God for family and friends, for health and freedom, and for the rich blessings we enjoy every day as Americans. Amen. Have a blessed Thanksgiving from all of us at Shields.
Welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. So glad you are joining us. And I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director, along with our Chief Meteorologist, Dean Wysocki, and our meteorologist extraordinaire. He's working his way to agronomist, but meteorologist extraordinaire, Justin Storm. we had someone take advantage of calling in to give us a road report. Again, if you want to do that, it's 701-293-9000. Mark, are you there? How are things going out on the road today? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to meet you the other day.
Thanks. You too.
I'm westbound at 94, probably out by Medina somewhere now. And it's not as bad as people might think, listening to watching the state map and whatever. I had a tough time getting from Fargo to Valley City. That was the slowest driving I had. A lot of blow ice. There is snow blowing and sticking, but as it got colder, the roads dried right up. Out here now, traffic's moving at normal speeds. Visibility's probably, I'm guessing a mile and a half. A lot of snow blowing across the road, but it's cold enough it's not sticking. So if anybody's going west, I'm going to Bismarck. If anybody's going west, you're not going to have any trouble getting there today.
Mark, we so appreciate you giving us a road report. That's awesome. Thank you so much, and I know you are a long-time driver. You've got a pretty good grip on what it's like. If you are someone who's maybe a less experienced driver, please take that into consideration before you get on the road today.
Be careful. Certainly between Fargo and Valley City, you got to really watch it. There are no cruise control headlights on.
Oh, no cruise control. Not anymore until spring, guys. None of that. Thanks,
All right.
Mark.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Drive safe. Also on the line with us today is our guest for today, and his name is Bridgette Kenzy. Brett is the national president of RCAF USA. He's also a rancher in South Dakota, and he's a veteran as well. And so this is a fine time for us to talk to Brett and learn all things exciting about RCAF as well as South Dakota. And Brett, what do things look like in your world in South Dakota today?
Oh, it's we were supposed to have a high of 23, and I think that's behind us now. We've got a lot of wind and a lot of dirt blowing. I look at your snow in the background, and I'm not jealous for a lot of snow, but we're still pretty dry down here.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we want to talk drought conditions, you have been in them pretty much all summer long. And I know, again, we've got two meteorologists on the line. When was the last time you had appreciable rainfall, Brett?
You know, we did have one nice inch here about, I would guess, 6 weeks ago, and that helped us out a lot. I mean, it just gets down to fire danger. You know, you kind of live in fear of getting out there and doing your work. I know a lot of combines were shut down this year just because it was so dry, and when the wind kicked up, people just trying to be careful and not burn their crop and their neighbor's crop down.
Those are real life situations right now. We've had a lot of combine fires this year, more so than I would say an average year. And the high winds this year really drove those. So, Brett, I wanted to bring you on today to talk about RCAF because a lot of folks don't know what that organization is or what you might be doing, even though you have a pretty solid following in the Dakotas. So tell us more.
We do, and yeah, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be on with you because we do have a strong membership in North Dakota. Our affiliate I-Band is having their convention this weekend in Bismarck, so be sure to check that out. But maybe we should start with what RCAF is. It's Ranchers, Cattlemen, Action Legal Fund, United Stock Growers of America, and we're the largest independent producer-led cattle organization in the United States. And basically what that means is we have 13 directors that represent members in 42 states, and every director is an actual cattle producer. Anybody can be a member of RCAF, but you have to own cattle to vote on our policy. So, you know, over 23 years, it's pretty, I guess it's kind of a compliment that our policies have stayed largely the same. I'm proud to be a member of RCAF because I think we're kind of the standard bearer of not just saying what we believe, but showing the trends of what we see in rural America and in the cattle market. You know, spend 2 minutes on problems and 10 minutes on solutions, and we're resistant to compromise. We think that we really do need to hold this country to the promises that it's made, such as a competitive market for what we grow, And I guess, yeah, I really enjoy the people, a lot of great people in North Dakota. Although I think I've been had because they told me that I'm going to be speaking, Bill Bullard, our RCAF CEO, and myself will both be speaking at the IBAN convention. And they told me that Bismarck was like the Padre Island of North Dakota. But I'm starting to think I've been had.
Coming from Gregory, South Dakota, you might have a slight change in decision making by the time you get to Bismarck. Nice.
I went to school in Brookings. I went to college in Brookings, and yeah, I'm no stranger to the fact that every hour you drive north, it can get real. You guys, I take great comfort. What gets me out of the house a lot of the time down here in South Central South Dakota is looking at your forecast up in North Dakota, because if you can do that, I can do this, generally.
So Brett, one of the major pieces that you work on with RCAF has been used as an acronym called MCOOL. Which is country of origin labeling. Can you, in a couple of moments before we go to the bottom of the hour, can you give us some high points? What are you doing as an organization? What does country of origin labeling mean? And we will certainly have to come back to that in our next segment as well.
Well, sure. Mandatory country of origin labeling is just, we feel that there should be a law that discloses to consumers where the meat that they're consuming comes from, because so many consumers don't realize, and they really have no reason to realize, that when they buy a piece of meat in their grocery store and it has a product of the USA label on it, that does not necessarily mean that it's product of USA. You know, the United States is the second largest importer of beef. We import beef from over 20 different countries. I believe it's roughly 2 million head and 3 billion pounds a year of beef that's imported into this country. And once it reaches our shores, undergoes inspection, it can be unwrapped, rewrapped, and labeled as product of the USA. And we think that hinders the ability of American cattle to compete in the marketplace, to be American beef for American consumers. I think there's still some patriotism left in this country. And the fact of the matter is, I think that American beef is the safest, most wholesome, most inspected beef product in the world. And so really all we want is the ability to compete for that consumer dollar and to honor these hardworking Americans with the right to choose what's produced right here at home.
And Brett, if we're going to the grocery store and we're buying beef, how can we tell? I mean, is there any way we can tell? All right, this is imported beef. That this is not from the U.S. I'm going to keep looking for something else. Is there any way that the consumer can tell?
Well, I say that it shouldn't be up to the consumer. You know, the American consumer, they pay the taxes that sustain the regulatory system. You know, the meat inspection, and you know, they inspect the cooler temperatures. You know, the cleaning of the meat packing plants, everything right down. So I think that we owe it to this consumer, and that it shouldn't be a research project to figure out where this meat is from. One way that you could make sure that you get American beef is to go to a branded program, such as Certified Angus beef is one that touts that they're supposed to be all American beef. But really, you should not have to pay a premium to know where your food is from, especially when you consider that, you know, if you're a fruit eater, it's annoying peeling the little labels off all the fruit that you eat. I mean, right down to the juice that you drink and anything else. So, you know, why beef? That's the big question. And so that's why we have gotten the American Beef Labeling Act. You know, MCOOL was law. We had some really good years in the cattle business. It was repealed in 2014 because it was tried by the World Trade Organization, and we never really gave a good, honest try at arbitrating that ruling by that international tribunal. So now we finally have gotten a bill reintroduced into Congress, the American Beef Labeling Act. Senator Thune of South Dakota is a Republican sponsor of that. Senator Tester from Wyoming is the Democrat sponsor. You know, this is not a partisan issue. This is a food security issue. It's an economic issue. So we're proud to have that on the table, but it's been like pulling teeth getting support. The people that make windfall profits, the people who have the ability to sort this beef and portray to you where it's from, either accurately or inaccurately, have far too much power, and they make a lot of money doing it. And that undue power in Washington, D.C., I think, is what stands in the way of us getting this. It seems ridiculous to spend this much time and effort fighting for common sense. That's not what America is supposed to be about.
Oh, this is awesome. So we have with us today Brett Kenzy. Brett is, again, the national president of RCAF USA. We are going to hit the bottom of the hour and be back with Brett. If you have questions, you can reach out to us at 701-293-9000, and we will continue right after this.
Your new one-stop shop for the latest in news, weather, sports, and community happenings is WDAYRadioNow.com. Stay up to date online, on your phone, on the go. Interviews with newsmakers, all your favorite local shows on demand for those days when you don't want to miss anything. Get your forecasts so you're always in the know when it comes to the weather, and find information on our shows and personalities. If it's happening now, it's happening on WDAYRadioNow.com. That's WDAYRadioNow.com.
Have you ever thought about selling your home but quickly talk yourself out of it when you consider all the repairs, cleaning, inspections, open houses, and the unknown of what price your home will actually sell at? Stop stressing. We will buy your home as is with no appraisals or costly commissions to worry about. You can even pick your closing date. Call me, John Osala with JK Property Partners at 701-306-3229 or go to FargoHomeValues.com for an instant valuation.
Hey, it's Jay Thomas for your local liquor store, Bottle Barn Liquors, with locations in Fargo and West Fargo. They are one stop away from anywhere and everywhere you're going. They're perfect for events you're hosting, grabbing gifts for, and just right for every occasion. They have selections of the latest wines and spirits as well as supplies you may need, like cups, ice, drink mixes, and more, and hundreds of brands including beer, liquor, and premium cigars. They are a one-stop shop, so tell them Jay sent you. South University Drive or Veterans Boulevard in my hometown of West Fargo.
Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Food, football, and fun in the fall. Tailgaters brings it all together with their all-you-can-eat lunch buffet from 11 to 2 weekdays or dinner and an ice cold beverage after work. Tailgaters is the place. There's no better place to watch football on Saturday and Sunday. Each game day, get their never-frozen, fresh-made half-pound burgers with fries for just $10.99. Domestic pints and bottles just $4 and live music every Friday night at 7. This week, the Mystery Band plays at Tailgaters, corner of Main and University, downtown Fargo.
Caring for friends or family members who have disabilities or chronic or terminal illnesses can be exhausting physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's why it's important to care for yourself. Respite services can provide that brief, beneficial break from caregiving. This help is available to families and caregivers providing ongoing care to individuals of any age. We are here for you, so you can be there for them.
To learn more, visit hhs.nd.gov. Sponsored by North Dakota Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director. Thrilled to have you joining us today. And by us, I mean Dean Wysocki, our Chief Meteorologist, Justin Storm, Meteorologist Extraordinaire, and our guest today, Brett Kenzy. Brett is from Gregory, South Dakota. Probably I should say Iona. Not everybody's going to be able to find that. And then he is also the national president of RCAF USA. And we've been talking about some of the legislation and so forth that goes on with RCAF and what their organization sponsors and is behind. And you were talking about cool country of origin, mandatory country of origin labeling, Brett. What other tips and ideas did you want to bring up about that before I ask a different question regarding the RFID tags and how they apply to the livestock indemnity regulations?
Well, I would just say that whether you're a producer or a consumer, if you support cool, a phone call to your congressman would be, that's how we get things done. You know, we're pushing and we're working from the inside, so to speak, but those phone calls that come in from real producers, real consumers, those are priceless when you're fighting as much power as we're fighting. So that DC switchboard 202-224-3121, get to know that, not just for MCool, but the other things. I think a lot of people feel like we're fighting to get our country back, so, you know, it all starts with the phone call and being heard. So whether it's that issue or something else, get involved.
Good point. And Brett, I know you brought up, we were talking earlier about, you know, you go into the grocery store and you're buying beef and you're not sure, you know, it could be imported. I guess one way to alleviate that is to buy local from a butcher. But if you go, let's say you're going to your local grocery store and they have a meat department and they have a butcher back there. If you went up and asked the butcher, hey, listen, you know, can you point me to which beef is imported and which is here in the USA, would the local butcher know?
It's my understanding that as a part of Homeland Security after the terrorist attacks in 9/11, that there is a standard that source information is supposed to travel with that meat until the ultimate consumer, but that could be a barcode, you know, with a code on it or whatever. I'll be honest with you, I can't answer that. I will tell you that a local grocer that I know tried to do a Made in the USA promotion, and he had a terrible time getting a hold of verified American beef, unless, again, you go to a branded product and pay more for that product. You know, I guess the question comes down to is American beef, is that an inherent right to know, or do you have to pay for that? And I guess that's what it comes down to, because as a producer, if I have to enroll in a value-added program, that means I need a guy, right? That's a big problem with America now, is everybody needs a guy to get access to a market, or a little better market, or a value-added program, and generally that guy keeps 90% of the value that's created being in that program, and giving 10% back to the producer, charging the consumer more. And so that's what we're trying to get away from. And then also another example that I use is I'm lucky here in South Central South Dakota. I have access to crop ground, grazing ground, the whole deal. But if you're, say, a Wyoming cow-calf rancher that's a good tax-paying American doing everything you can to meet the health and safety standards of raising cattle, shouldn't you get to share in that benefit of having your product differentiated? I guess
Absolutely.
those are the questions that I want people to ask themselves.
Absolutely.
And
You know,
I can't agree with you.
litmus,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
another litmus test is you have to ask yourself, is this too much to ask? Accurate labeling, is that too much to ask in this information-driven society? Is that too much to ask?
It
Just
should
to have an accurate label.
it shouldn't be. We have it on all other products. It should be the same for beef, without a doubt.
You guys are going to
So
be ready
I want
to
to.
board number. I can tell. This is awful.
You know, I want to go back. You said that this used to be a law, and then it got repealed or appealed a few years ago. Why did that happen?
There's a lot of money on the table. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good answer for it. And you've reintroduced this bill into Congress and to see where it goes, but you're lacking a lot of the support behind this bill. Do you think it's just the amount of money that's on the line, or why is it so difficult for people to get behind this, or are there just other more important issues going on that people are focusing their time on?
Well, no matter what issue I call with, there's always a bigger fish to fry, right? There's always the border crisis or Ukraine, or I mean, just over time. But when you look at it, the people who make incredible amounts of money, having the ability to sort this product and to decide what people perceive to be true, they're in DC every day, in and out. They're making PAC donations, and I'm not out to destroy anybody. I'm not even picking on these congressmen, but I guess this is my plea, and it's the reason that I lead with that phone number. The only way to override the power, this monopoly power that guides so much of our policy making in DC, is public outcry. And, you know, that's what we're working on. That's the senators and representatives that are signed on to MCOOL, they tell us all the time, you have to get the consumer on board. And that's a slippery slope too, because number one, I think all the beef that the consumer eats right now is probably safe, but we want to make sure that it's safe. So that's why we deserve to give that consumer the power. The consumer is who we all work for, ultimately.
Right. So what kind of, are you guys doing any sort of promotion or outreach to try and get other people behind on what's going on? Because I was oblivious. I had no idea that some of this beef is, not some, a lot of this beef, 2 million head, 3 billion pounds getting imported and then bagged up here in the United States, throwing an American sticker on it and whatnot. What are you doing, or how can you get more outreach to people to get behind that? Because I would imagine that'd probably piss off a good handful of people if they're like, oh, I'm going to go get this nice steak. Oh, it turns out it's not even an American cut. What's going on?
Well, we had some tremendous momentum before COVID. There was a group that, it wasn't even RCAF, it was an independent group that started getting together and invited some of us on, and we all worked together, and we had a petition drive, and we had almost 500,000 signatures on that petition in a very short amount of time. And that's what I credit getting this bill filed in Congress, you know, from that momentum. But then COVID hit, back to the bigger fish to fry in DC and the whole deal. But, you know, I think that we find ourselves in a moment in time, you know, where Democrats are mad at Republicans and Republicans are mad at Democrats. You've got Democrats mad at Democrats and Republicans mad at Republicans. We're rolling into a farm bill, and I just think that this may be a magic moment coming into farm bill. And yes, we are going to renew a push. We've had several pushes, and we're open to suggestions. That's, you know, a big part of what RCAF is just kind of a networking area for people that have ideas or contacts to help us reach out to different Senate offices and get people on, because we do have a diverse group of signers on right now. But it's interesting, I think that we're getting now is the time to push, because as we're on conference calls with congressional staffers, the question that I hear the most is, who else is on this? What are you hearing? And I think that paradigm is getting ready to shift. I have to pick on the politicians a little bit, okay? I mean, we call them leaders, but in reality, they're representatives, because there's a lot of looking at the other guy. And if the other guy blanks, bang, I think we'll go and it will be done. But
now, Brett, is this a bill that could be that would be an independent bill, or is this something that could be squeezed into like the farm bill?
all of the above. There are several different vehicles, and that's, those processes are what I was very naive to coming into this. But over time, I've learned. We're all learning together. You never know. MCOOL was repealed in an omnibus spending bill. So if your senator or representative voted against MCOOL, don't be too hard on them. A, because there is a day when we must let the past go and move forward in a positive manner. And B, because that's how Washington works. They tuck these bills into bigger bills, must pass bills, and that's how things get done. So yeah, but I hope it's not, well, I mean, I want to get this done, don't get me wrong, but I hope that it just doesn't go away silently, because I think that this conversation is one that we're going to have as Americans if we want to go forward with America as our parents and grandparents knew it. Does made in the USA matter? Does competition matter? All of these fundamental processes that made America great, I think that we've got to get back to that.
So, Brett,
Right.
you have had so many awesome points for us to make. And Justin, did you have a question there for Brett? Because before I do,
It was just a quick little comment you had mentioned where they just sneak these little articles into a bigger packet of bills, and that's how a lot of things get passed. That just reminded me of how the edible weed gummies went legal in Minnesota up to whatever milligram usage. It was just some big packet that they ended up signing, and here on page 174 in a 2-paragraph segment they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you can go buy and eat these weed edibles, and everyone was like, whoa, what's going on? So I thought that was kind of interesting and funny that they can do that.
You have to read the bill to know what's in the bill, right?
That's true.
Or you have to
For
pass
those
the
who
bill
are
to
just-
know what's in the bill.
Yeah, for those who are just catching into our conversation, we're visiting with Brett Kenzy. He is the national president of RCAF USA. He is a rancher in south central South Dakota. And Brett, there are so many more topics that we have to talk about. We're probably going to have you come back another day, especially I just watched an article in the Tri-State Livestock News this week regarding the RFID tags and how they tie to the livestock indemnity regulations. So we're going to have to talk about that entirely differently, because that's a whole nother chunk of conversation. But in the meantime, for folks who want to reach out to you about RCAF and any of the discussions we've had today regarding MCOOL, etc., how could they reach you?
Email at kenzyranch@yahoo.com, or I can give out my cell number at 605-830-9860. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. RCAF is as well.
And Brett, what was that number?
And RCAF has a website?
Yes, RCAF has a website. We're on all the major social media platforms. So, yes, please check it out. www.r-caf.usa.
And Brett, one more time, that number in Washington, D.C. that people can call?
202-224-3121. And that's off the top of my head. I just scribbled it down here. So if it's wrong, call me, scold me. I'll give you the correct number. But as long as you're calling, let's get it done.
Absolutely.
I'll be the switchboard.
Yeah.
And that is the DC switchboard.
We'll have to toss that
That's
up on
huge.
our Facebook page, WAG In Focus, for you.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Folks, we're going to catch up with the American Ag Network for markets right after this, and then we will continue our discussion with some regional and local weather, see what's going on the highways out there, and thank you again to Brett Kenzy. Again, we'll be back right after this.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we enjoy drinking coffee because it keeps us energized and focused.
Well, let's be frank. I enjoy drinking coffee because coffee keeps me wide-eyed in the morning, but I'll tell you this type of coffee is organic, specialty-grade coffee, beans selected from the top 2% available, 100% Arabica bean coffee, certified organic, non-GMO, low acidity, rich, smooth, and ready to drink.
The finish is clean and it has a pleasant aftertaste. It's delicious. It's so far the best coffee that we've had. It's also roasted and packed in the US of A. We love it and we guarantee you will too. All you need to do is go to mystore.com, click on My Coffee, and enter the promo code WDAY.
That's promo code WDAY to get your own My Coffee.
It's also roasted and packed in the US of A. We love it and we guarantee you will too. Go to mystore.com, promo code WDAY.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday at 6 a.m. At Creative Planning, we offer full-service, comprehensive wealth management services through our in-house team of wealth managers, accountants, and attorneys to integrate all aspects of your financial life. Don't settle for a standard portfolio or a set-it-and-forget-it plan. Get all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
If you're looking for a great night's sleep, I'm going to give you 2 suggestions. First, go to Comfort King Mattress Factory. Second, support the community and go to Comfort King Mattress Factory. They'll make you the mattress that you want for your purposes. All the money that you spend will go back into the community. Isn't that what you want? It's a win-win.
You ever wonder who made your bed? Well, you should. And you should wonder what's inside of it. Come to Comfort King and we'll show you the who, what, where, when, and how.
Corn market finishes firm with soybeans and wheat under pressure. Livestock, a decent day on Thursday. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen with this closing market update. Well, corn market ended up finishing firm on the session. That was a positive note, while soybeans and wheat under pressure. Crude oil sinking again. That was a weight in bean oil, which turned into a weight in the soybean complex. Wheat futures under pressure as well. Ukraine grain deal getting extended 120 days. That was the biggest headline news of the day, and a very quiet news day, we'll call it, overall. Meantime, livestock trade, a solid day there. Export sales were good in livestock. Export sales were also very good for corn and beans. I should mention that. But as well in the livestock trade, fairly decent day there. Traders in the cattle complex are going to be squaring positions ahead of the cattle on feed report coming up here tomorrow. Let's look at final numbers. December quart up 2 1/4, 667.5. March quart up 1 1/2, 669. January beans down 12 1/4, 14.17. March down 12 1/2, 14.22 1/4. Bean meal December down 90 cents a ton, 405.70. Bean oil for December down 195 points, 72.13. Chicago wheat December 10 3/4 lower, 806 3/4. March down 12 1/4, 825. KC wheat December down 17 1/2 at 938. Spring wheat December down 12 at 953 1/2. Spring wheat for March down 13 1/2 at 960 3/4. Live cattle December up 95, 152.75. February up 115, 155.40. April live cattle up 117, 158.90. Feeder cattle November up 15, 175.85. January up 250, 179.97. And in the hog trade, December down 60, 84.97. February hogs up 45, 90, 80, and April hogs up 37 at 96 even. Again, overall, fairly quiet news day. Corn finishing firm while the livestock trade was higher. Those are the winners of the day. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. 155 right now, 20 degrees, light snow, 2.5 mile visibility around the FM Metro. We just got done speaking with Brett Kenzy, National President of RCAF USA, and well, there's a lot of things that he had to say that I had no idea about, and I thought it was very interesting. If you want to go back and listen to that interview, if you did miss it, or if you're just joining us, head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll have that posted up here very shortly after our show ends. And give it a listen and drop a comment down there on what you thought or anything. And I don't know about you guys, but I found that just very interesting. And I mean, I was kind of oblivious. I had no idea anything about it.
And just another reason to really go buy from a rancher if you can, local butcher, and then you don't have to worry about about your beef being imported. I was talking to Jay Thomas, came in the studio here, and he's like, oh yeah, you didn't know that? I said, no clue, had no clue.
Which was the whole point of Brett's conversation, that we as consumers need to have more information, know what's going on with our food, and get involved in the political process. And have that conversation with your congressional leaders.
That's the crazy thing. If we have to have mandatory labels on other food products showing how many calories and grams of fat and
where it's
sugars
from,
and where it's why not beef? That makes zero sense.
Well, it looks like we have a great opportunity for a return guest with Brett, because I think there's more to discuss.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And just a couple of the numbers that he did toss out, it's like 2 million head or 3 billion pounds of beef are imported, and then they slap a U.S. sticker on it and call it a day.
And where's most of that?
How do you do that?
And is that imported from Canada, I believe, Bridgette, or is it all over? China, Canada?
I don't think
wherever?
he mentioned.
He didn't mention, we have some Canadian imports that get slaughtered here in the U.S., but I think an awful lot of that box beef would be coming out of South America. And you can see that we have a graphic from Brett. It talks about the producer's share of the consumer beef dollar. And you can tell just based on the years, that trajectory of how much has actually been getting to the producer, the farmer, and it's not an overly high percentage. I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple minutes here left. Dean, I know you're going to recap the forecast with the Jay Thomas Show, which will start here at about 2:06. But what's a quick recap on that forecast for what's going on around the area for today and into tomorrow?
Yeah, we've got still some snow showers throughout the area. Those will be decreasing as we head towards evening. And then we'll be left with just a few flurries. Temperatures stuck around 20 degrees, and we'll bottom out tonight around 5 above. And still breezy with northwest winds 10 to 20. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have wind chills about 10 below. Some spots a little colder. And then as we head into to the end of the week tomorrow, a few breaks in the clouds, but will be replaced by clouds as another little system dives out of Canada, giving us a little bit more light snow shower activity by afternoon and evening. With temperatures stuck in the teens tomorrow and Saturday before warming into the upper 20s. Sunday, we do finally break into the low 30s, it looks like, early next week. Still a little question on Thanksgiving. Our European model and American model a little bit different, but our American model brings another clipper system in here with the possibility of snow on Thanksgiving. So we'll keep a close eye on that, especially if you have any travel plans. But leading up to Thanksgiving, Monday, Tuesday look pretty, and even probably Wednesday look pretty good next week. So if you have any travel plans in the midsection of the country early next week, looks okay. We'll keep a close eye on Thanksgiving, though.
Well, thank you very much for that, Dean, and that's going to wrap it up for us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. We appreciate you sticking around and listening to what Brett had to say as well as what we had to mention. And again, if you did miss that interview, head over to our YouTube or Facebook page, Weather and Ag in Focus, or our website, WDAYradionow.com. Just click on the past show archives button, and you'll be able to find that located there. We're going to make room for Jay Thomas because the Jay Thomas Show is coming up here in about 6 minutes.
970 WDAY AM and 90.